Welcome to the DevReady Podcast. Joining me on the DevReady Podcast today, I have Ima Miri. For those of you that are new here, I'm meeting Ima for the first time, and we're just going to have a bit of a chat on AI. So first, we'll learn a bit of her background. Ima, I'll let you take it away.
Thanks, Anthony, for having me on the podcast. I'm founder and CEO at AI.io. We help businesses to implement generative AI solutions, specifically AI agents and AI assistants. I'm coming with the 20 years of experience in software development, plus including 10 plus years in AI and cloud consulting and management. And that helped me basically to help businesses effectively to implement AI to enhance their operations. Especially our focus is on data-driven solutions.
Okay, so I haven't had too many technical people on the podcast. This will be an interesting chat. So in rolling out AI solutions and agents into business, which is what everyone seems to be talking about lately, what sort of trouble have you had rolling out agents in businesses that are either probably not prepared to do it and want to go through with it, and then the ones that have put some more thought behind it and have a strategy? What troubles have you had when trying to deploy agents with businesses? What are they not understanding, need to be prepared for to try and get them in there?
Yeah, I think one is that due to the hype, the expectation is a bit unrealistic sometimes on what AI agent and AI assistant can do and cannot do. With that, we usually go through the basically a demo process and a breakdown that actually what AI can do for them and enhance their processes in different space. AI definitely can do a lot of things, but being realistic on the limitation as well is really important. And another thing is that some of the business, for example, that we work with, their infrastructure is not really ready for rolling out AI. I had a client last year, so they came to us that, okay, we want to implement AI agents in our system because it's pretty cool. It's also interesting to our investors and so on. And also it definitely gonna enhance their customer experience. But looking at their infrastructure and what they had, their data and their cloud infrastructure, they weren't ready for that. So first of all, the data was scattered everywhere, different location, different databases, very unstructured in some aspect. For example, some of the reports and data was in Discord channels, very unstructured.
Okay.
So we needed to basically come to this approach that, okay, we need to first get the cloud migration, migrate to a scalable cloud infrastructure, first of all. Mm-hmm. Then find out which sort of data we need for basically that end AI agent and AI assistant. Then we structure everything with through that and implement step by step. So that's the important part. It's really important to understand, is your data ready? You have your infrastructure ready to actually roll out AI. And then once you got to that point, you understand that, okay, what are the limitation and what are the actual outcome out of the AI that you basically drive for your business. Yeah, these are the aspects that we quite often face with businesses when we have a chat.
I think we've seen a similar thing. It's businesses either don't have enough processes in place to digitize what they're doing, let alone jump straight to AI. So there's a lot of manual processes, a lot of paperwork, and they want to bring AI into that. Where AI can help to potentially do OCR on the documentation easier, but you have to have a process to then have someone that can scan or take a photo of that document and put it somewhere on the cloud that it can access. But a lot of businesses, are not even ready to have systems that are based off computers, let alone bring AI into the process.
Yeah, actually, good point on that. We had a client last year was asking us about scanning, and they had invoices in different format, images and PDF and so on. So I asked them if they can actually upload them to a data source that we be able to consume that for the application. And they said, how AI can do that? So no, we cannot. So you need to do it. You need to do this. It's just that bit needs to be manual. So like you have the invoices, etc. Unless there is another application that you're taking photo, it goes over there and straight away basically transfer to this data source. Otherwise, no, you have to do it manually. Or somebody, yes, in some way is human involved in the process anyway, right?
Yeah. I think people's expectation of what the agents and like generative AI, large language models, what it can actually do is different with what they're expecting. I think they're expecting, like in that case, an AI robot to be in there scanning the documents for them so they don't have to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think having that full end-to-end from everything, it means that a lot of different softwares and application gets integrated with each other. That I think that's gonna happen in future, but not at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, we're very early. Like, I like to say that the AI that we have access to today, these large language models, it's the worst it's ever going to be.
Yeah.
And yesterday it was worse again, but tomorrow it's going to be better. Every day it's improving, but it's not where people think it's going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
There's an expectation where there's so much hype around all these possibilities, but they're not there yet. And the average business owner who's non-technical doesn't understand that because they can't keep up with the news and they don't know how to implement any of it. Do you see this in your clients and the people that you speak to?
Yes, that's part of our actually processes. We help with AI readiness and maturity assessment. Also, we help with AI strategy and roadmap for implementing generative AI solutions. Because jumping straight away to, okay, we know what we want and we want to implement this means that you already have a really well-established infrastructure from both cloud infrastructure and the data standpoint. And then also your process is very aligned with everything, and you know really what you want exactly. Basically, you need to be very aware if you go that way, which a lot of businesses are not that ready or mature in these aspects. So basically, that's why we go with AI readiness and maturity assessment in the beginning with them. And then we go through the AI strategy and road mapping on what they want to implement, how they want to implement, and basically when that gets delivered and return a revenue for their businesses, etc. So that's part of our processes. Then we go to a step, okay, now you're going to implement it. This is going to how long it takes time and etc.
Yeah. And with your background in the cloud and software development, you've probably seen that it's an identical process to digital transformation was moving to the cloud.
Yes.
Before LLMs and ChatGPT came and was on top of everyone's mind. In my mind, it's the same process. We're just using a different tool now. So it's not moving to the cloud, it's how to get AI. But if you haven't got the foundations correct, you're not going to be able to move to the cloud or bring in an AI agent or a AI-enabled feature in a product or a business.
Yes, exactly right. Is similar to the digital transformation. We do that with cloud, and actually, in the example I mentioned earlier, so my client needed to move from a lightweight cloud to actually more scalable and more established cloud infrastructure to be able to basically implement that effectively, right? So for that scenario, the cloud migration or cloud implementation was the same case, right? Just with AI, we need to look after so many other additional parameters, basically like data. For data, for implementing AI itself, apart from data, we need to see if that solution, AI agent or AI assistant needs to be integrated with other basically applications and projects, so on. So that these are the aspects that we need to look at more in addition to cloud infrastructure.
And I think that's something that those businesses, again, they don't understand because they're not in the technical space.
Yes.
They just think you can do all of it very easily.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you say I have an AI agent, they think that is a robot software that's sitting somewhere and can do everything, but that needs to be integrated with a lot of your infrastructure to work effectively. Otherwise, it doesn't drive the value that you're looking for. So that's the part that sometimes we need to explain that definition properly to set the expectation right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I mentioned, there's a lot of hype, and you'll see a lot of YouTube videos or LinkedIn videos or TikTok videos about people talking about all these different things they can do. They're setting up automations, and there's 30 agents doing lead generation and scraping and doing all this
Yes.
stuff. But that's not useful for the everyday business. And it's beyond what they can understand generally as well, with how do I actually apply it to my use case or my business so I can see a benefit.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, we had a conversation with another good business in Australia that they utilizing a low-code, no-code platform for implementing AI agent for their use cases, and it works for them. It's great for prototyping. It's good for them. It works for their prototyping and for their purposes. They have happy client because of that new processes that AI agents deliver for them. But now they're facing a limitation, and that's why they came to us, because that low-code, no-code platform, it just helped them in a certain area, and it cannot be expanded because every businesses, especially the businesses that we work, we talk to them. So they are in a reg tech, basically they're checking regulation, etc. So they are very specific with lots of specific requirement and customization. So these low-code, no-code platform have limitations towards all this kind of customization. And that's where we could help them, basically, to help them to implement AI agents that actually integrate with that platform and help them to basically on different aspects of the customization that they're looking for.
Yeah. So your services are more in the like custom agent deployments, not using Zapier or Make or NAN to try and run an agent flow.
No, we do that one as well, like offering integration with those on Zapier and so on. And then also we have some pre-built in-house AI agents that we could offer to our clients. And then also we have we build custom AI agents for businesses.
Okay. Yeah, I find when I use those automation platforms, so we use NAN internally.
Yeah.
I find that it's really good to get something up and going quickly.
Yeah.
Very difficult to test, and it's hard to have like a test and a production version of the workflow where you can migrate, because we're software developers, so we have production testing environment, and then you're on a staging and then a production, and you have to be able to migrate data across and test it properly. I find those difficult to manage that way.
Yeah, I think these platforms are mainly great for prototyping, validating ideas, startup ideas, or business ideas in general. I think they are great for those aspects, and definitely it's a go-to for businesses. But if they want to apply customization based on different business use cases, etc., and for future growth, yeah, definitely custom solutions will be the case. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the moment, is a bit of a hesitation towards custom solutions because there are so many options out there. But eventually, it's gonna be the case. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're a business looking to implement AI and you're going off the shelf, then you're not really going to differentiate against all your competitors because they'll be doing the same thing. You're unique because you have a unique process, so you stand out for some reason against the marketplace. So if you go off the shelf, you'll end up making shortcuts that change your process to fit the off-the-shelf model, which is the case for most software. Like, everyone can use Salesforce. It's got some configurations in it, but they force you to a certain model to operate.
Yeah.
You don't have that uniqueness to it, which makes you stand out or has your competitive advantage in it, which is where the custom solve stands out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but then the custom's not for everyone either. You may not need it, and you don't need to go all the way because that gets very expensive.
Depends. Yeah, you need to have the use cases to go with that. Yeah, and you have the basic infrastructure to go with that.
Yeah,
definitely.
What are some of the unique use cases or deployments, if you can talk about any of them, where you've brought an agent into a business for some unique process that you think that's a cool use of having an agent?
In addition to AI point, at the moment, working on a new startup venture called TradeWize.ai. And so the cool part of it, part of that is that we're building AI agents for trading purposes, both stock trading and crypto trading.
Yep.
And so I think because at the moment, I'm not sure if you're familiar with investment in a stock market and crypto.
A little bit.
So
not too much.
You could do it manually. You could do it through the algorithmic trading, which are basically you run it as a bot. It's a separate concept outside of the generative AI. Then the work we do with TradeWize.ai, basically building AI agents to enhance those whole process of trading and make it more accessible. So yeah, it's I think that's a very cool use case that you're
Okay, so it's not for quick trading. It's more
It
around.
is,
It is? Okay.
yeah, but you can set up the strategy based on that.
Okay. Because the reason I asked was, in my mind, there's a potential delay in using agents and the time of making a trade.
Well, agent is for providing the insight, basically.
Oh, okay. So like analyzing and assisting
Yes.
someone to make the trade
And
or
then
to provide data to the bot.
And then do the
Okay, that's a very interesting space to work in because I'm sure there's lots of work happening in that space, considering it makes money for people.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's a bit tricky too because of the financial advice and so on. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course there would be. There's lots of regulations in that space. Some like unique use cases that we've prototyped but haven't rolled out into production for clients are having a phone number available where someone can give instructions for a job shift, have that transcribed, turned into effectively JSON on our side, saved into a platform for review by a person. So it's sort of like removing the need for a person to answer the phone and have the AI take the phone call, but then have that request enter into the system in the right structure and format for our objects.
Yep.
That's been a unique use case that we've rolled out some prototyping for. And then I use a lot of like agents and just chains internally to help write content.
You're right. Yeah.
So we've got, I went through the system the other day. I think we had about 70 projects that we hadn't written case studies for over the 17 years. And like I started drafting initial notes for it, and then I just set up an automation to then pull data from Trello, do some research with an agent, find some more information on the client, and then draft a case study.
Right.
So there's little use cases like that, but they're like single serving. Once I've done that initial batch, I won't need that tool again. So that's where the automation tools are useful because it's get something quick, you can prototype it, but it's not a production ready long-term product.
Yeah, another things we build for one of our clients is the code builder. It's basically generating code based on their original code base.
Okay.
Instead of agent create by itself, from like similar to you type with ChatGPT or Grok 3 or etc. So it's connected to the code infrastructure, the code source they have, the source code they have, and then it pull information from that, and we prompted it how basically it works with it, so it generates a new code based on that. And that's
so it just does it on its own. So you issue it a task, and it'll write the code and create it for you.
Yes, because we want the generated code to be aligned with the existing source code.
Yep.
This is great for companies that they want to become AI native.
Yeah, so that's productivity gains there for developers.
Yeah, definitely.
They just now have to put in the domain expertise to review and assess the code that gets written.
Yeah, instead of, for example, if you want to become an AI native company and you want to get whole new code from ChatGPT or Grok 3, so like it's gonna take so much time, right? Because you need to keep prompting all the information. But in this case, it's already using the code base, and basically it's starting any new code, starting the new, basically it start creating new codes based on that, and it's aligned with the current with the existing regulations, and anything new comes up.
Okay, well that's another interesting use case there for that sort of company, and then that may be something they can commercialize or keep internal because that's their secret weapon almost.
No, well, we built for them specifically for their use cases, but we are aiming to building something similar for our future customers as a product, to basically be able to feed different kind of source code and generate new codes based on that.
So just before we wrap up, I just want to ask you, what are you sort of excited about moving forward in the next 6 to 12 months, or what you've heard about in the agent space that you'd be looking at trying to roll out into a client because it's something they can see great value in?
Yeah, I think for me is be able to work with more companies to help them become AI native and build more basically solutions that help them to enhance their operations. And that's the approach that I'm taking and I'm aiming for. So, and especially that trading business I mentioned. So that's one of the things that our deadline is for next 3 months, for example. So get that out of the door. So
that'll be an exciting one to see. Well, Ima, it's been a pleasure speaking to you today. There's a bit of an interesting chat and opening to how you're actually deploying agents and the use cases you're having. If anyone wants to reach out and find out more about yourself and AI Point, how can they do that?
Yep, they can contact me through my email, ima.miri@aipoint.io, or reach out to our website, aipoint.io. That's it.
Yep. And we'll add those links to the show notes.
And my LinkedIn as well.
Yep, not a problem. We'll add all that in there, and hopefully someone can reach out if they want to go AI native and look at how to try to deploy agents. Yep. Ima, it's been a great chat, and thank you for your time today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.